Is it sane? Is it possible? Still I ask myself, are we, am I? In our game, it's not logical, but you contemplate, are we, am I?
Ladies and gentlemen, fighting for love. How absolutely fun to be hanging out on Labor Day with you all. I see there's some people in the chat already. Welcome to the second ever Blue Jays stream. If you missed the last one, it was on Friday. A little bit of a test run during Bieber Fever Friday night at Rogers Center. It did not go well. The Blue Jays ended up losing that game to the Milwaukee Brewers, and then they lost on Saturday, but then they won yesterday. So the Blue Jays are coming off of a victory yesterday against the Brewers, a series loss ultimately. They dropped 2 of 3 games in that series, but hopefully they start off on a good note today against the Cincinnati Reds. Hello, Damn Daniel, who says, oh, hi, Jesse. And hi, Robert Malloy as well. Robert Tipple says, we are fighting for runs. Yes, we are fighting for runs today. The Blue Jays bats got going yesterday, which was fun after, a couple bad days on Friday and Saturday against the Brewers. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for them to just score all of the runs against the Cincinnati Reds. The pitching matchup is Hunter Green against Chris Bassett. Hunter Green, I think he's been pitching really well as of late. Let me just check out Hunter Green's game logs here. Let's see his last couple starts. He had a loss against the Dodgers, allowed 3 earned runs over the course of 5 innings. Didn't go deep in that ball game. He doesn't pitch deep into games. The last time he went past the 6th inning, Hunter Green, in a start was April 7th. And then he missed time wasn't in the majors from June through August. So hopefully you're someone that the Jays can run up the numbers on, some of these runs on. That'd be nice. That'd be nice to get a good win here on Labor Day. As you can see, last couple games As you can see, last couple games for the Jays. 8-4 victory yesterday, 4-1 loss, 7-2 loss. Then that game against Minnesota where Jeff Hoffman came in and closed it out in the 9th after the night before when they lost 7-5 because he blew it in the 9th inning. Jeff Hoffman's like my main topic of conversation as of late for the Blue Jays because I think Sir Anthony Dominguez deserves a shot at the closer role, just like in a low leverage situation. Again, like every save situation in the 9th is a big situation, but like in one where they're up by 3, the maximum amount for a save situation. I'd like to see Sir Anthony Dominguez handle one of those saves and just, I get that John Schneider is the ultimate players coach and that whenever John Schneider is asked, like, hey, do you believe in this guy? You're going to go back to this guy. He does, because he always does that, because that's like his ethos. I will always back my guys. But I'd like for once in John Schneider's life to not do that and just try something different. And I think there's an opportunity with Sir Anthony Dominguez in the bullpen to give him a shot at the closer's role. But I feel like that's wishful thinking. And we're not going to get that. And he's going to keep going back to Jeff Hoffman until the end of days. And the end of days when the Blue Jays either win the World Series or are eliminated in the playoffs. Like that's it. That's what he's going to do. And I don't think, no matter how up and down or 50-50, like Jeff Hoffman's coming in as 50-50 whether or not he's going to have a good outing. Whether or not how shaky his stuff is or how good it is at any moment, John Schneider is going to go back to him. And I don't believe in that philosophy right now with the season of evidence we have with him giving up a whole bunch of home runs, him leaving his pitches out over the middle of the plate. The stuff, even like when he navigates his stuff to where it should be, like he'll hit a corner and you're like, oh, that's a great pitch, but it'll still get hit. It'll still get taken the other way. It'll still be punched out into the outfield and they'll get a single because the stuff isn't fooling anybody. It might be locating in a good spot, but it's not fooling the hitter even when it is in a good location. So I'd like to see the Jays try something besides Jeff Hoffman. We'll see if they get to a save situation today against Cincinnati Reds and if they will go to him today. We got Robert Tipple. Robert Tipple says, hey, Jesse, been with SDPN since the itty bitty studios way back when. I'm curious, what or when did you know that you were going to go all in with the studio and all? I miss the work stories, but really happy for and proud of SDPN family. What a great success story for the little guys. Yeah, we built the studio that we're in right now for the Steve Dango podcast in, I want to say 2023. We built those studios. And yeah, 23 of spring, we moved in there officially, and we had our first couple episodes in there leading into the playoffs that year. And the reason we had to build that studio is because we couldn't be in Adam's basement forever. As the business grew, the podcast started getting bigger. We added shows. We added the Chris Johnson show, and we added Agent Provocateur. And we had a couple more shows at the time, and everything was getting bigger, and we couldn't have no offices and exist out of like one of the guys' basements. Like it couldn't just be out of Adam's basement if we were going to be a business. You need like a physical location for people to congregate and meet and go and to work. So around then is when we started looking at studio spaces, and we found one, and it's been excellent ever since we've been there. It was just a necessary next step because of you have to have if you are a business, you should have a place for people to work. And that's what we had to do at the time. So thankfully, we had the opportunity to do that then and get a studio space. Like we were able to do that and found a good place in Toronto. So yeah, that's kind of just how it happened. It was just a natural evolution. You want to grow. Like that's the thing. You just want to grow and keep moving up in the world. So that's what we kept doing. And that's what we did at the time. And we've been happy ever since. And hopefully we stay there for a long time. George Springer is entering the batter's box here. We are about to get underway with the first pitch in Cincinnati from Great American Ballpark. George Springer, Hunter Green, the matchup right now. The first pitch of the game is a ball high, a fastball out of the zone, 98 miles an hour. We start this game with a 1-0 count. Thank you for hanging out with me on your Labor Day Monday. Hopefully we have a lot of these during the playoffs for the Blue Jays when they make the playoffs, because I assume they will make the playoffs. And like based on the standings right now, you can see it on the screen actually. Blue Jays 3 games up on the Yankees in the AL East. That'll make them like 6.5 games up on the wild card spot. I think Boston's not even in the second. Oh, we got a base hit by George Springer there. George Springer reaches first base, hits it into left field. Well done, George Springer. Well, let me see if I got the clap buttons. Oh, there we go. Clap button works. George Springer takes a pitch into left field. Excellent stuff there by Springer. And we have, oh, I thought he was going there on the pitch. No, he's still on first. All right, second pitch, 1-0 count. Now is he going? Yeah, there he goes. Safe at second, stolen base. Look at that small ball from the Blue Jays. Look at that. That's Springer's 16th stolen base of the season. You start the game with a base hit. Steal on the second pitch of the at-bat to Barger. George Springer, well done. Now 2-0 on Barger. Man on second to start this game. None out. 2-1 now. That is a 2-1 count. Oh, Fritz 812 says, let's go Reds. Boo. This is a Blue Jays stream. 2-2 count now on Barger. The Blue Jays have done such a good job this year playing small ball. Like George Springer. Oh, there's a hit up the middle. Dela Cruz catches it, turns around, tags second. George Springer gets doubled off. What a play by Ellie De La Cruz. Oh, my goodness. He goes up top, snags it, dives, touches second, gets Springer. That's a double play. The Blue Jays are cooking early. And De La Cruz just ends everything, ends the rally. Barger's out. Springer's out at second. Vladdy's up now with 2 outs, and it's an 0-1 count. Oh, my goodness. What a turn of events. You know, you start the game. Single, stolen base, Barger up, hits a hard hit ball, and then L.A. De La Cruz doubles him up all by himself. Unbelievable. What can you, if you're a Springer in that situation, like, what can you do? You know? You can't really do anything there. It was such a hard hit ball. You're taking a lead off. As soon as it's hit, your first instinct can't be, I'm going to go back to the bag. Like, that's I feel like that's a little unreasonable. So what can you do? Unfortunate turn of events there for the Jays. There's Vladdy. Hits a shallow pop fly to center field. Second baseman goes back. Catches the ball. That is the third out of the inning. The Blue Jays get nothing after a good start to the game by George Springer. They end the inning 0-0. Vladdy pops out, and we are done with the first inning. We have Chris Bassett on the mound for the Jays. Chris Bassett, who's been fantastic for the Jays this season. Like, you can't complain about Chris Bassett and his performance as a Toronto Blue Jay so far. Loving what we're getting. Loving what we're getting out of Chris Bassett. There were some Sportsnet stats here I wanted to read. Where was the one? Oh, my gosh. Here was the one. Just to illustrate like how good it's actually been this year. Because it feels like lately the Blue Jays have been so, you know, especially the last like 15 games. They've been kind of up and down. Oh, there you go. That's perfect timing. Last 5 games, as you can see, Blue Jays 2-3 in their last 5 games. But best win percentage prior to September in Blue Jays history. In 1985, they were 81-48. That's a 628 win percentage. In 1987, they were 77-54. That's a 588 win percentage. And then the third best win percentage of all time prior to September in Blue Jays history is a 577 win percentage. This season, these 2025 Toronto Blue Jays are 79-58. 79-58 prior to September. That is the third best win percentage of all time in Toronto Blue Jays history. Chris Bassett's now on the mound to face the Cincinnati Reds, starting for the Toronto Blue Jays today. He starts the ball game with a ball that is outside on the left corner. I guess from on the screen, it's the right corner. It's a sinker outside. 1-0 count. Start the game for Christopher Bassett. SLS says Bassett hasn't been great on the road this season, but hopefully he turns it around. We got Hawk_23 saying, good afternoon, fine sir. Good afternoon to you, Hawk. Thank you for being here. Thank you to everybody hanging out on a beautiful Labor Day Monday for some afternoon baseball, some Blue Jays baseball. Bassett falls behind the hitter early, and that is a walk to start the game for the Reds at bat in the first inning. Finesser says, when's the next SDP? Tomorrow. Tomorrow we're back. Chris Bassett starts the game with a walk there. Not great to the center fielder. Yeah, we're back with the SDP tomorrow. We have a full slate of podcasts starting tomorrow. We are Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we're going to be 3 episodes a week from September 2nd through July, what is it, like 28th would be the last show next in 2026. Like, you will not be starved for content for the next 11 months. It's how we work. We go from September to the end of July every single year, and you get nonstop 3 times a week podcasting for 11 straight months. It is good times. It is hockey times. Can't complain about doing that for a living. We got Bassett here, 1-1 against Marte. Man on first, none out. Hopefully, if we can get a nice ground ball here, That'd be awesome. Robert says, has CJ ended his boycott of Jays games yet? So he has ended his boycott of watching. He has been, I know he's been watching some Jays games because he's reacted to some things that have happened lately, like Jeff Hoffman blowing saves. But going to games was his main boycott. And he has not ended that. He has not been inside of Rogers Center. We got a foul ball, 2-2 count now. Bassett on Marte. So he has not been inside the Rogers Center, which is maintaining his boycott. He is an honest individual. He is a man of his word. He is our reporter, our insider, Chris Johnston, and he does not support the 2025 Blue Jays. Tyson says afternoon all. Shout out Tyson. Tyson was here hanging out on Friday. 2-2 count. Bassett inside. I think it's a 92-mile-an-hour sinker inside. 3-2 on the count. None out. Bassett's shaky little start here to start the game. Already up to 10 pitches through one batter, and the second guy's at the plate. Let's see what we got. Nobody running. That's a strikeout. Strikeout by Bassett. Well done. Getting a little worried there. Walked the first guy, got 3 balls on the next guy, and then Bassett strikes out the number 2 hitter, Marte. Well done. .6% whiff rate on his curveball. That was a beautiful curveball. 72, located exactly where you want it when it's a 3-2 count. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff there from Bassett. Glad that he get that strikeout and calm things down a little. Ellie De La Cruz up to the plate. Best hitter on the Reds. In my opinion. It's just in my humble opinion. Best hitter on the Reds. He made that awesome play half inning ago to stop the rally from the Jays. David Owen says, hey, Jesse, stoked you're doing the live Jays games. Missed you guys. We're back tomorrow, as we mentioned. Tyson says, thoughts on the Kiner-Falefa waiver claim. Did this improve the team for October? I really liked the Kiner-Falefa claim. I know a lot of you out there were like, Joey Loperfido deserves to come back up, like, bring him back to the roster. But to me, like, Kiner-Falefa is so much more useful. He's truly a utility man in every sense of the word, because he was talking, what was it, this morning, or it would have been this morning, I think, through his media avail, or yesterday. And he said that he was working on playing catcher. Like, what? Like, Kiner-Falefa is going to be available to them at all 8 positions. Like, I can't pitch. Like, it'll be a really bad situation if we have him on the mound. But all positions out in the infield, like, all positions in the outfield, and even behind the plate, Kiner-Falefa is going to try and get out there and play for the Blue Jays. And that sort of utility, I love that. And when you get to the playoffs, like, he's not going to have a lot of at-bats. Like, this isn't about getting somebody who's going to be in the lineup a lot. This is about just protection on, like, something goes wrong, you need somebody. And I feel like Kiner-Falefa is just more useful than Loperfido. So, to me, it makes total sense. There's a strikeout by Bassett. He gets De La Cruz. That's his second strikeout of the inning, second strikeout of the game. That's 2 outs on the board. After a leadoff walk, Bassett strikes out the next 2 batters. That's a beautiful pitch. That was a slider, right? It was a sinker. It was a sinker. Real low. Below the zone. Good little pitch there. Swing and strike. I like seeing a lot of swings and misses early from Bassett. That's beautiful stuff. Let's... Oh, Kirk's got that. Kirk, who's been one of the best defensive catchers in the league so far this season. His defensive runs saved. Let me see what that is. This is defensive run. I think I saw it like top 4. Okay, Alejandro Kirk. I'm gonna look this up. Defensive. Oh, broken bat, ground ball. Bichette gets it. Second base. End of the inning. Well done. Chris Bassett gets out of his leadoff walk, retires the next 3 batters. That's an Austin Hayes ground out to Bo, who throws it over to Jimenez, who has the force out at second for the last out of the inning. Let's see Alejandro Kirk's defensive numbers. Defensive runs saved, MLB leaders. They don't have like it on MLB.com. I guess they don't keep track of that there. Let's go to catchers, run saves. Let's see. I don't know if I can pull this up that easy. Team run saved. Alejandro Kirk. No, it's not there. Major League leading fielding. I can't do it. Oh, maybe fielding run value leaderboard. Blue Jay Alejandro Kirk 16. His fielding run value, that's the number I saw. His fielding run value is 16, which makes him the 6th most important fielder in the whole league. It's Patrick Bailey, Pete Crow Armstrong, Bobby Witt Jr., Mason Wind, Raphael, and Kirk. Raphael and the Red Sox. I'm going to screw up his first name. Kirk's at 16, his fielding run value, which is unreal. So if you want to what that means is fielding run value is a metric for capturing a player's measurable defensive performance by converting all of StatCast's individual defensive metrics from different scales onto the same run base scale. So you read it like Andre Jimenez had a fielding run value of 17 plus, which came from 14 runs on range and 3 runs via his involvement in double plays, making him the most valuable defender in baseball among non-catchers that season. Alejandro Kirk, underrated. Probably my 3rd favorite Blue Jay so far this season. If I'm ranking Blue Jays I love, it's Vladdy, Barger, Kirk. But Kirk's slowly slipping into second place there. Bo Bichette's at the plate. It's a 1-2 count now. He fouls off a ball. Hunter Green's up to 17 pitches on the day. None out. Top of the second. Bo at the plate. Let's see what he can do here. Nobody has more hits in baseball with runners in scoring position than Bo. Does he still lead the league in hits? He might have more hits than anybody in any situation. Currently, I know he was leading that for a while. Hits leaders, MLB. Let's check this out. Hits. Bo Bichette still leads the league in hits. 172 hits. Trey Turner in second with 169 hits. See if we can add to that total with this 3-2 count. It's a long fly ball to deep center. It's off the wall, and Bo Bichette adds to his league-leading hit total. This time he gets a double, his 41st double of the season. That ball was almost gone. It kept carrying. I don't think anybody thought that ball was going to keep going deeper and deeper. It just kept going. It hits right off the base of the wall. And now Bichette's on second for Varsho. Oh, here we go. Varsho. Deep fly ball to center. This one's going to be caught, though. Bo goes back to second. Tags up. He's on third base now. 1 out. Good job by Varsho. Good to see Varsho back in the lineup. Thought he might have been out for longer, but he is okay. He got hit on the hand a couple days ago on the Friday game against the Brewers. If you were watching or not, I will remind you. If you were watching, if you weren't watching, I will fill you in. Friday against the Brewers, Varsho gets hit right in the hand. It was a nasty fastball. I think it was 95 miles an hour. It hit him right in the pinky, and he was down, like, grimacing in pain. And I thought, like, oh, no, he's going to be out for, like, at least a couple weeks or something if that pinky's broken. But looks like it was just a nasty sting, you know, when you, like, stub your pinky toe or something. Just, I assume it hurts a lot, and there's a nasty bruise on it. But he is good enough to play, to get runners from second to third on sacrifice flies. It is a beautiful thing to see. Alejandro Kirk's at the plate with an 0-2 count against him. Let's see if he can just make contact, get the ball somewhere, hopefully in the outfield. That's strike 3 looking. Oh, no. I was hyping up Kirk before this. And we get strike 3 on 3 straight pitches. Hunter Green threw that pitch 101 miles per hour. That is ridiculous. On the outside corner, Kirk had no shot on that. He just looks it go right by him. Here's Nathan Lucas at the plate now. Oh, 1 on the count. 0-2 on the count. This leadoff double by Bo Bichette is it's not looking the greatest right now in terms of cashing him in. Nathan Lucas here, 0-2 count. Hunter Green pitching really well after that leadoff double. And that is a swinging strike there. Lucas swings and misses. That's 3 out in the inning. 6 pitches, 2 strikes for Hunter Green. Bo Bichette is stranded on third base. Oh, Cameron. Hello, Cameron. Cameron says, I don't follow baseball, but I love a good old Jesse Blake stream. Thank you, Cameron. I appreciate you. Robert says, best option for Jeff Hoffman is to keep sending him out. It's his first full time. Just keep at it. That is the John Schneider. That is the John Schneider rule of trusting your guys. It's you keep throwing them out there. Eric Lauer did move to the pen today. The Blue Jays are going with a 5-man rotation. It sucks for the dude because of how good he has been for the Blue Jays in an unexpected role. Nobody had Lauer penciled in as a starter for the Jays, and that's why he's the odd man out here. And he's done such a good job for them as a starter this season. But with Shane Bieber back, or on the team now, and back healthy and playing as well as he is in his first 2 starts, you have to put him in a regular rotation to get him into that groove, because pitchers, they are so routine-based, and they need to be on their 4 days rest, pitching every 5 days. And it's become a little much trying to finagle this bullpen with 6 guys and John Schneider and the staff there had to make a decision, and Eric Lauer, it had to be him to move out of that rotation. But now you got a long man in the pen, and you got somebody who's been very reliable this season, and you can use him out of the bullpen. And that's a place of contention amongst Blue Jays fans, and I assume within the offices there in Toronto as well, about the bullpen and how shaky it's been. Having Eric Lauer, who is a really good pitcher, in the bullpen definitely helps you out. Gavin Lux is at the plate. Bassett is on the mound. 21 pitches so far on the day. None out. Bottom of the second. He throws a strike over to make the count 1-1. That was a sinker, 91 low in the zone, called strike. And there is a beautiful curveball. The curveballs look good from Bassett so far early on. We've had a couple hits from both sides, or walk, actually, I should say, in the first inning from Bassett. Wasn't a hit. A couple hits from the Jays in the first 2 innings, but they couldn't make anything of it. 2-2 now on the count. Let's see what Bassett can do with Lux at the plate. Pitch clock running down on Bassett. Really took his time with that one. I wonder if that's why it's a hard hit ball by Lux to center right. And he's in at second base with a double, his 24th double of the season. I was wondering, like, is Varsho going to get there? It feels like Varsho can get to any pitch. So before he throws that pitch, Bassett, like, that pitch clock was counting down. And he was standing off the mound. He takes a second. And then Bassett throws the pitch with like a second left in the pitch clock, and it seemed like he got in a rush himself. It seems like he didn't really know that the pitch clock was that low with the amount of time he was taking, and he throws a fastball high in the zone. Lux gets a hold of it, falls into right center, double, none out, man on second here. We got Stewart at the plate, 1-0 count, 1-1 after a beautiful sinker there on the outside corner by sweeper there on the outside corner by Bassett. Shout out Robert Malloy, as always, in the chat. Hanging out on Labor Day with all of you. It's a fastball high. You guys talking about syncing the stream with what you're watching at home. Yeah, there's no clock. There's no clock. It's hard to, like, there's a pitch right there and make it 2-2 in the count. Or, sorry, 3-1 in the count. I got to get the count right for you to sync up. They checked down to third. It was a check swing, so it's 3-1 in the count there. Like, I assume, yeah, it's really hard to sync up when I can't just be like, 10 minutes left in the period. There's your sync. But we also have the score here and the outs and everything, which is pretty, it's a little off from what I'm looking at. Like right there, there's the hit. A base hit over the head of Bichette. Man stays at third. Like that happened pretty in sync with the score on the board there. So there's your sync if you wanted to know what happened there. Sal Stewart, first career MLB hit. I was looking for something to wave and celebrate. I guess I'll hit the clap button. Little confetti for Sal Stewart. No matter whose side you are rooting for today, that is something we can all get behind. Sal Stewart, first career MLB hit. Congratulations to that young man. That is a darn cool moment. Yeah, keep that ball. Get that ball into the dugout. Keep that ball forever. Oh, my God. I'm going to cry. Somebody in his family is bawling. They just showed them on the broadcast. It's going to make me cry. Oh my gosh. That is heartwarming. You work your whole life. Like as a kid who played travel ball growing up, I know how hard parents have to work to get you to play high level, like rep sports as a kid. It's so much dedication from your parents or whoever's in charge of you to take you around to these games all across the country or wherever you play, all around your state or province. And to see that dream realized in a major league hit, oh, my heart. They're sitting in the crowd bawling at that moment. That was cool. It's still none out, though. Man on first and third, which is dangerous here for the Blue Jays. But that was awesome. That was awesome to see for Sal Stewart and Sal Stewart's family. Congratulations to the Stewarts. Oh, here's a deep fly ball to left field. It's off the base of the wall. That's going to score 2 runs. Man's going to third. Hayes is into third safely. The Reds get 2 on a triple. Oh, they're giving him a double. Going to third on the play. 16th double of the season. Hayes gets a double and to third on the throw. It scores 2 runs. Stewart hustling around the bases, scoring for the Reds there. 2 runs in. Man on third. Yeah, man on third. Jose Trevino now at the plate. Bassett's been getting hit hard here early. He's been leaving balls up. If you look at that ball that was hit by Hayes into deep left field, that was a curveball that was up in the zone, only 72 miles an hour. Bassett has great range with his pitches, but it was up in the zone and hit real hard. Not great there by Bassett. Reds start this game 2-0. Grounder to second. Jimenez gets it, looks the runner back at third, throws it over to first. That is the first out of the inning. Woo! Sarcastic air horns here. Sarcastic air horns for the Toronto Blue Jays, who record their first out of the inning after surrendering 2 runs here early in the bottom of the second. ALE standings on the screen right now. As you can see, the Blue Jays are 3 up on the New York Yankees, 3.5 up on the Boston Red Sox. The division, it's not locked up for sure. You play a lot of games in baseball. A 3-game lead can be gone in a short amount of time. Even if you're winning games, if the other team's hot, which the Yankees have been, even though they lost last night to the White Sox, they had won 7 in a row previous to that. The Blue Jays need to win some games here if they want to win the division. I think a playoff spot is locked up just based on them playing average ball from here on out. Oh, there's another hard hit ball. This one's a little shorter, though. Lucas catches it, throws it in. Hayes at the plate. He's out. Nice play by the Blue Jays there to get Hayes at the plate. What a throw by Nathan Lucas. An absolute dart to Alejandro Kirk to get the 3rd out of the inning to stop a run. Beautiful defensive play there. As Colton says, we are so back. We are so back. What a throw. You're always like concerned if the cutoff guy doesn't like grab it and then they do the cutoff throw and it's always more accurate. You're always like, ooh, is the outfielder going to hit home plate? Are they just going straight for it? And it was a dart One hopper. Kirk, perfect tag, blocking the plate beautifully. And instead of being down 3-0, it's the end of the inning, and we're going to the top of the third with the Blue Jays down 2-0 in the game. Nice stuff there. Nice stuff there by Nathan Lucas. They're showing the replay there again. Yeah, that one hopper. Kirk, I was talking about earlier, his fielding run value. Beautiful play there. Blocking the plate. Perfect positioning. Nathan Lucas so far on this season's got 8 outfield assists now. That's a good number. That's a good number. Where's that rank amongst outfielders? Outfield assists leaders 2025. Let's see. Regular season. Oh, what is this? No, I want outfielders. Can you isolate by outfielders? I'm just getting assists. I'm bad at looking at baseball stats. I'm gonna admit that. I'm bad at looking at baseball stats because there's so many of them. You know? Like I'll go and look and it's like it's so hard. You gotta isolate everything because you can literally look up everything you want your entire life. Like everything about everything. See, like now I got it. Now it's like, okay, here's all the outfield assists. Because you got to go like, okay, here's assists. And then you got to go outfield assists. And then you got to go leaders. And then you got to, and then there's like, oh, outfield assist WOBA. And you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't want that much detail. So if we go to outfield assists and we look up the leaders 2025, Stephen Kwan leads the league with 12. And Nathan Lucas has 7 coming into this game, so that would have been his 8th outfield assist, as we said. That puts him right up there with amongst. He is now within the top 10. He's tied for 7th in outfield assists. Here's a fly ball to left by Ernie Clement. It's going to be caught. That is the first out of the inning. On a 3-1 count, he swings, and it is a caught ball in the outfield. 1 out for the Jays. Andres Jimenez to the plate. Back to talking about outfield assists. Addison Barger is tied for 5th in the league in outfield assists with 9. 9 on the year. The leader's got 12, as I said, Stephen Kwan. So Nathan Lucas has been amongst the best in the league at making those throws and getting assists from the outfield. P. Polau, I'm definitely saying your name wrong, but P. Polau says, baseball stats confuse me. If you need an explanation for any baseball stats, we can have baseball stats explanation stream. We can sit here and just talk about WOBA if you want. Here's a hard hit ball by Jimenez, but that's going to be caught in center field, and it is for the 2nd out of the inning. Hunter Green's making quick work of the Jays here in the top of the 3rd. Hunter Green retires the first 2 batters. And now we are back at the top of the lineup with George Springer, who led off the game with a nice little single and then stole second and then got doubled off. 100-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle of the plate here to George Springer. Let's see if the Blue Jays' best hitter so far this year can get something going here with 2 outs. Oh, swing and a miss. Beautiful pitch there. He really got fooled. And now we have a slider that gets him. Hunter Green with a fantastic inning for the Cincinnati Reds. Goes 1, 2, 3, retires all of the Blue Jays. It is 2-0 Reds going to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Paul D says, how do they calculate WAR? So WAR is like, it's not too bad. Robert says, Hunter, that's mean. Yes, that was mean. I agree with you, Robert. That was very mean. That was too quick, too easy. Green made George Springer look very foolish on several of those pitches. WAR, which is wins above replacement. How it's calculated. It converts a player's batting, base running, and fielding performance into runs. These runs are then adjusted for the player's position, league context, and compared to a replacement level player to determine their value in wins. So you got it's like 1, 2, 3. It's like 4 different calculations you got to do first based on batting, base running, and fielding, or 3 different calculations. So you turn all of those stats, batting, base running, and fielding, into runs, and then you adjust those runs amongst like all the different factors that go into a baseball game. So where the player's playing, what league they're in, National League, American League, what ballpark, all that kind of stuff. And then you compare it to a replacement level player. So 0 would be a replacement level player. So you're constantly moving the replacement level. It's 0, but so everybody's always calculated to 0. And it's not the catch-all number that it used to be. Like a couple years ago, WAR was kind of the be-all and end-all. And you're like, okay, WAR is kind of like, we know how good a player based is on WAR. And to me these days, like, you have to take into account like 5 different metrics to really get a good sense of how good a player is. Like, to me, if you're doing like OPS plus and WOBA, I keep bringing up, and if you're looking at just overall a couple different of the Saber metrics, then you'll get into like, okay, this is how good a player actually is. Barrel percentage, I believe in like heavily, because then you're just talking about a player's really good at hitting a ball hard. Here's a pop fly. Jimenez is going back into shallow right. He catches it. That's the first out of the inning there. So barrel percentage, if you want to know like how good a hitter is at hitting the ball hard, like it's I think one of the best stats that illustrates like how good a hitter actually is, because you can hit a ball really hard, but if somebody's just standing there, that's not your fault. If the defense is just positioned correctly and you hit a line drive that smoked to the second baseman and he catches it, you should be able to understand in your sabermetrics that you're calculating when looking at how good a player is that he's hitting the ball hard consistently. And regardless of whether it is at a fielder or not, him hitting the ball hard should over time translates to more hits for him. So that's why I like barrel percentage as a stat to watch for, hey, this player is really good. Anyways, we have plenty of time here over all of our Blue Jays streams from now until infinity. Infinity is when they either win the World Series or get eliminated from the playoffs, because hopefully we can do these throughout the playoffs. And we will talk about all of the sabermetrics that are out there in baseball. So much time to just chit chat about baseball things. We got a 1-2 count on Marte. 1 out so far in the bottom of the third here. Bassett's pitch count has been running up. 47 pitches so far in this game. That's the 48th pitch is fouled off. Cosmo says, I don't know anything about baseball. I'm here for Jesse Blake. Hey, I appreciate you, Cosmo. Thank you for being here. We have a ball, a sinker. 2-2 on the count here with Bassett against Marte. Paul D says, I haven't looked at baseball stats in 5 years. WTF happened. Barrel percentage, that rules. Yeah, baseball stats have changed a lot over the last half decade. Oh, there's a swing and a miss. Beautiful strikeout there by Chris Bassett, his third of the game. Gets Marte swinging. Makes him look foolish. That is your second out of the inning. This is more what I want out of Chris Bassitt. And we got Ellie De La Cruz grounding out to Vladdy. That is an easy catch and throw to Vladdy, to Chris Bassitt, who's covering the base. That is the third out of the inning. Easy. Easy work there by Chris Bassitt. Well done. Love that. Absolutely love that. I want to see more of that. The Blue Jays bats now need to wake up. Hunter Green's been pitching a really good game here, so if they can find a way to crack him here, this is the second time through the lineup, so hopefully they can get something going here. I know the numbers say it'll be like the third time through the lineup is where things kind of really open up, but let's see if they can do something the second time in the lineup. Other baseball stats we can talk about. So barrel percentage is one. Other power metrics is what they're kind of labeled as, is hard hit percentage. That's the percentage of balls hit at least 95 plus miles an hour. If you're at like 50%, you're Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. If you're at like 40%, you're like pretty good. Hard hit percentage and barrel percentage are two of like the power metrics of like how hard you're hitting that are really good. WOBA, that I've mentioned so many times because I just like saying WOBA, that's weighted on base average. So it's your on base average. What's the easiest way to explain? It's like your on base average weighted to the importance of the hits plus against league, or what the like league average is. So like less than 300 would be like bad for your weighted on base average, and then like 400 is great. It's kind of where WOBA falls. We can get into details too. OPS is kind of, OPS should be overtaking batting average, I think, as the staple metric that people use to evaluate a hitter. Like if you're going baseline, we shouldn't be going batting average anymore. We should be going OPS, which is on base plus slugging. So your on base percentage, how often you're getting on base. Because batting average, like, it doesn't take into account things like walks. Like, how ridiculous is that? So on base percentage is much better. And then your slugging percentage, which is, I used to be able to do slugging percentage. Like I could know all the calculations. I think it is slugging percentage weights the different hits. So in slugging percentage, it's a 2-2 count, by the way, on Addison Barger. Hunter Green is 2-2 on Addison Barger. None out in the inning so far. Slugging percentage, a single is worth 1, a double is worth 2, a triple is worth 3, and then a home run's worth 4. So then, and then you calculate that with your total number of at-bats. So you like divide it by your number at-bats. So it's what type of hit you get divided by your number of at-bats, and it gives you like how much power is that player generating. And by power, I mean like home runs, triples, doubles. Like how deep are they hitting the ball based on their at-bats. So that's slugging percentage. And then OPS is you take your slugging percentage and you add it to your on-base percentage, and you get a good overall landscape of how good a hitter is. Baseball stats they're the most fun thing in the universe. If you're not into baseball, get into baseball, because you can go so deep on everything. Addison Barger strikes out, by the way. There's another strikeout, fourth strikeout for Hunter Green. He is dealing right now through 4 innings. That's the first out of the inning. A very nice pitch, low in the zone. I think that was a sinker. That was a slider, 90-mile-an-hour slider that looked like it was heading into the zone. Looked like it was heading a little straight, and then it kept dipping. Addison Barger swings through it. And then we got Vladdy up to the plate. Did Felix advance to the U.S. Open? Is Felix playing right now? Felix Auger Aliassime? Am I saying that correctly? I'll never be able to say those names correctly. Felix, did he just finish his match? I know he was playing today, but I know the Blue Jays were on, so I couldn't tune into that. Let's see what the score is. Yes, 7-5, 6-3, 6-4 on Arthur Ashe. Wow. Felix is going on to the quarterfinals. Beautiful stuff for great young Canadian. Finesser says swept Rublev. That's an awesome win. Alcatraz and Djokovic are already on to the quarters, so Felix joins them. Unbelievable run there for the Canadian. This is the deepest he's ever been in a major. Damn Daniel says he's so French, Jesse. He is so French. Here's Vladdy chopping at a ball. Easy play to first base for Stewart. That is 2 out in the inning. Hunter Green continues to pitch beautifully. 53 pitches on the day so far with 2 out here in the top of the 4th inning. Yeah, that pitch was just beautiful placement by Green. Nothing Vladdy can do on that except chop at it and try his best, but could not get anything on that bat. On that ball. That bat on that ball. Here's Bo Bichette at the plate. Had a double in his first at bat, hitting 307 on the season, 818 OPS. League leader in hits. This will be the second time in his career if he finished the season as a league leader in hits. I know he led the 23 season in hits. I don't know if he led before that, but I know he's recently led the 23 season in hits. Let's not talk about the 2024 Blue Jays season. That did not happen. That was a non-existent season. Here's Bo Bichette with a 2-1 count against Hunter Green, who is doing a fantastic job so far this game. Here's Bo Bichette swinging hard on a fastball. Inside outs it to right field. That is a single for Bichette. He is on first base. Oh, I got a button for that. I don't need to clap myself. Bo Bichette continuing to be the best hitter in baseball in terms of getting on base. In terms of just getting on base through hits, nobody's doing it better than Bo Bichette. Robert says 2024 is fake news. Yeah, we don't count the 2024 Blue Jays season as canon. It did not exist in the Blue Jays universe. It was outside of it. It's something else. We went straight from 23 to 25, and we are happy. That is how things went in Blue Jays land. Here's Varsho at the plate. It's 1-1 in the count. Bichette on first, and it's 1-2 in the count now. Varsho against Green. Nice pitch, top in the zone, 99 miles an hour by Varsho, or by Green on Varsho. They were showing the replay of when Varsho got hit in the hand last Friday. Was not a pretty sight. 2-2 on the count. Full count, 3-2. So Bo Bichette's going to be running 2 outs. The runner is going to be on the move with a 3-2 count. Let's see what Varsho can do with this pitch here. Extend this inning. This 2-out rally. It's foul. We'll have to wait one more pitch. One more pitch to find out what happens here. And Dalton Varsho strikes out. That is the end of the inning. It was not a 2-out rally for the Toronto Blue Jays. Hunter Green continues to wheel and deal. 5th strikeout of the day. Sad trumpet, yes. Go to the bottom of the 4th here. 2-0 Reds, it remains. P. Polo says, the 2024 season is the poorly selling straight-to-DVD release in the Blue Jays movie saga. Yeah. Yeah, 2024 is the Marvel movie that no one went to see, and they decided to just drop it on, like, Disney Plus instead of in movie theaters or something, you know? Like, it was not... Let's not talk about that. All right, Robert Tibble says, regardless of what happens this year, if they can re-sign Bieber and take a low-cost flyer on Scherzer, I would be happy. I would love to see Shane Bieber back. Him being a free agent does complicate things. But, like, even as a pure rental, I'd be happy. But I'd love to see him back in the organization for the Jays. What was his contract? Let's go to Spotrac. We need a cap-friendly... We need a Puckpedia equivalent for baseball. Like, the cap-friendly guys made salary swish for the NBA. But baseball, there's so many guys. Like, it's so hard to do. There's so many guys. So, Bieber for 2026. Yes, Robert, you are correct. He does have an option, but it is a player option. I assume he will opt out of that. It's $16 million on the payroll, $16 million in cash, cumulative. It's $19.1 million that he would be making himself. That's not bad. Not bad at all to pitch for a major league team. But, like... If, let's say Shane Bieber goes out there and has an unreal postseason for the Jays, somebody's going to be willing to pay him a long-term contract. And you want that security as a pitcher. You never know when your arm's going to fall off, if we're being completely transparent here. So if I'm Bieber, I'm opting out. I get to choose where I want to go. Like, let's say I don't want to stick around in Toronto, and I get a longer-term deal, 4 or 5 years maybe. 4 years is probably what you're looking at. It's somebody who's 31. Starting next year, going in next year is 31 years old. So $4 million contract or 4-year contract. A lot of money, though. I'd love to see the Jays do it. I'd love to see Shane Bieber as a long-term Blue Jay. So I'm with you, Robert, that I'd like to see him come back. R.I.P. Cap Friendly. Other Robert Malloy. Maud Robert, not Tipple Robert. R.I.P. Cap Friendly for sure. I have a cap-friendly jersey. They gave us cap-friendly hockey jerseys. It's pretty cool. Maybe I'll go grab it from the it's like over there. It's like off the screen over there. I'll grab it. When this inning's over, I'll grab it and I'll bring it down. I'll show you guys. It's a pretty sick jersey. You might have seen it on the Steve Dangle podcast. Like, I think we revealed them when we got them. We were like, hey, look at the nice stuff cap-friendly guys sent us. RIP. But now we got Puckpedia. Puckpedia is very good. Like, I love Puckpedia's lineup feature. I use that thing all the time. Just especially during the season, because they update that thing so well. And you can just see, like, oh, tonight these guys are in the lineup. Last night these guys played. This is what lines 1 through 4 look like to start the game. There's a swing and miss by Bassett on Hayes. 1 out in the inning. Bassett starts the inning with a strikeout on Hayes. He's settling in now after one shaky inning. Bassett is back sit. Back sit? Do you like that? Chris Backsit? Can that be a thing? He's Chris Backsit. Yeah, let's go. Here's Gavin Lux, who had a double in his last at bat. Chris Bassett got a nice call there up in the zone. Probably out, probably a ball, but call the strike. And that's all you need. As you can see on the screen, the Blue Jays did claim Isaiah Kiner-Falefa off waivers from the Pittsburgh Pirates. He will be their super utility man for September in the playoffs. He is committed to playing everywhere on the diamond. There's a nice pitch there by Bassett. I think he's so useful to have in the organization. Bringing him back as a Blue Jay is such nice work, too, by the front office because they traded him away for assets last year. Do you remember that? At the trade deadline, they traded him away for assets, and now they've gotten him back for free. For free. So the assets they got were free assets, and all you have to do was spend a full season without him because they traded him last trade deadline in 24, and they go all 25 without him, and then now he's back, and you didn't need him in 24. Here's a high hit ball to center field, but Varsho goes back and gets under it and catches it for the second out of the inning. Bassett retires the first two. We have Stewart at the plate. This was the part of the order that Bassett has had trouble with previously, but this time around, he is taking care of business. Sal Stewart was our boy who had his first career hit in the second inning. His family was in tears after that moment. I was almost in tears myself, seeing his family watching that moment. 0-2 on the count here. Bassett on Stewart. Let's see if we can finish off this inning. 1, 2, 3. That's a hard hit ball. Foul. Thank goodness. Thank goodness that ball was foul. That was hard hit into the bleachers. But he was just a little too out in front of that curveball. He couldn't stay back on it enough to get it in play. And he fouls it off, but that was a nice hit. Solid contact there by Stewart. So see what Bassett can do here. 1-2 on the count now. 2-2 in the count now. Bassett's losing Stewart. See if we can end the inning here on a good note. That's a swinging strike. End of the inning. Bassett 1, 2, 3. Bottom of the fourth. Takes care of business. Gets him with a cutter high. Bassett is back sit. I'm going to go get my cap-friendly jersey. I wonder if I can just roll off screen. All right, everybody, play amongst yourselves. I'm going to go grab my cap-friendly jersey to show it off just so we can talk about cap-friendly and what an amazing website they were. Okay, play amongst yourself. See, that wasn't very long. Actually, I did have elevator music. Sean says elevator music. I should have got the elevator music. But here we go. So when Cap Friendly went off the internet, when they went off the air, this is what they gifted us. So this is the Cap Friendly jersey. And this is Cap Friendly. So their colors. And then on the back, they had our names. So this was Blake Cap Friendly, 24, and Blake. So Steve, Adam, and myself each had one, or each got one. It was pretty sick. It was very nice of those guys to do that. Like, congratulations to them for, like, getting jobs in the NHL. Like, that's so sick. So yeah, I just want to show that off since we were talking about Cap Friendly a little bit there. All right, back to baseball. Top of the 5th inning. Let me know what you're eating on Labor Day. Because Robert said, anyone have fun snacks? Robert Tipple said rice crackers and cream cheese. Does that count? Sean says Reese cups. I love what are you eating? I love us just talking about food. We got a pop-up by Alejandro Kirk. That's caught. That's the first out of the inning. Easy out there for the Reds and Hunter Green, who has been pitching fantastically for the Cincinnati Reds. The bats have been cold today for the Blue Jays. P. Polo says hash browns. They're eating hash browns today. Nathan Lucas is at the plate, who had that unreal throw from left field to get the runner at home earlier in the game. He swings. It's a deep ball to left field, but the center fielder is going to get right under it. And there's 2 down in the top of the 5th very quickly. That was an easy 2 outs there for Hunter Green. Hold on, I'm just going to tweet out that we are here. Come hang is what I'm going to tweet. Let me see if I can copy this link. Copy. Quote tweet. All right. Come hang link. There we go. Post. Done. Okay. Ernie Clement lines out while I'm tweeting. That's out to right field. He lines out. And easy 1-2-3 inning by Hunter Green once again. The Jays cannot get anything going there. That fly out by Ernie Clement ends the inning. They'll have to get something going. The top of the 6th, Hunter Green's pitching a gem. Chris Bassett's still in the game. He'll come back out and try and hold fort for the Jays. Green is at 71 pitches on the afternoon, 43 strikes. Bassett has 68 pitches on the afternoon, 39 strikes. P. Polo says, we are eating crab people. I've become more of a seafood person in recent years. Like, I was, like, growing up, for sure, definitely not a big seafood person, but lately I've been a pretty big seafood person. Because I've been going places that have great seafood, and you want to try it. So, like, in the last couple of years, taking a trip to, like, Boston. Like, I've been to Boston, what was it, last summer, and they have, like, unbelievable seafood. Like, lobster rolls in Boston. Unreal. Clam chowder. Everybody knows clam chowder. Unreal. So, like, when I'm back in Toronto now, I want to, like, try the seafood here. So I'll like have some like seafood and that sort of stuff, some fish. Like slowly, I've been growing into kind of a seafood guy. It's been really fun. Going on a food journey is always fun. Where you're like, I'm going to discover new foods to eat. I'm going to go out of my food wheelhouse and discover that there are lots of good foods everywhere. I was in Grenada this summer. It's a small island in the Caribbean. They got so much seafood. So a lot, like I would eat like fish sandwiches. They're really good at fish burgers, that sort of stuff. And it's important to be in places that have, like, there's a ground ball to short. Bo! No! That's an error by Bo Bichette. An easy ground ball to the shortstop. Cannot be fielded cleanly by Bo Bichette. And that is 12 errors this season for Bo Bichette. Not great. That is not what we want to see out of our star free agent shortstop, the man who cut off his beautiful locks. 12 errors on the season for Bo. Bo, no. Here's Chris Bassett. Hopefully he can pitch his way out of this error. Hey, there's a nice swing and miss. Polo says, someone remind Bo that we are not the Yankees. Yeah, that looked like a play Volpe would make. Big error guy, Volpe. There's a team leaders. Like, look how great Bo's been. Look how great Bo's been in the batter's box. Leads the team in RBIs. Leads the team in batting average. Leads the league in batting average. And there's George Springer leading the team in home runs. 24 home runs on the season for George Springer. What a bounce back year for him at the age of 35. Like, unreal. I didn't expect this out of Springer, and it's been so awesome to see because he's such a good dude. Like, George Springer is such a great guy. Bassett here. Trying to induce a double play would be ideal. It's 2-2 in the count. Trevino at the plate. 2-2. Bottom of the fifth. None out. 2-0 for the Cincinnati Reds. Hunter Green on the other end of the mound has been pitching a gem. Let's see what... Oh, he's got a blister. They're just zooming in on his hand there. Bassett's got a blister. Oh, he gets a little pop fly. Kirk running over to the dugout, but it's foul out of play. Foul. Dan DeCastro says, Springer the glue of this team. I 100% agree that. Like, Vladdy on this team is vibes guy, right? Vladdy's like, I'm going to keep the party going. But then Springer is, I'm the guy you can look to know how to play, how to act, how to be a professional and get things done. Like, he is... Oh, there's a swing and miss. Trevino swings and misses for the first out of the inning. Beautiful pitch there by Bassett up in the zone. Fooled the hitter. Trevino strikes out. 1 out now. Now a nice double play ends the inning here. Sean of the Yukon says, Springer loves being a J, and it's so endearing. Yeah, he truly looks like he's having fun, and every day he loves showing up for the ball to the ballpark to play these games. I love George Springer's attitude. I love what he brings to the team off the field. Like, off the field, he's such a leader. He's such a captain. And then you have such a nice mix of personalities in that dugout. It doesn't feel like anybody is on the outside looking in. The way this organization loves to mix guys in and out and utilize guys on different nights and different scenarios, you have to have players who are willing to play ball with that. No pun intended. But you have to have a guy like Davis Snyder, who on, Friday had the only RBIs of the day. Like, he drove in both runs that game. Next day, he's sitting because the numbers say, the odds say, this isn't a game for Davis Snyder. We're going to use him off the bench. We're going to have him there on the bench to throw him in there. And he's okay with that because he understands that the organization needs to do everything they can to win every single game. Every single game is just like, let's win tonight. And if that means I have to sit because the matchup isn't great for me against whatever X pitcher, if it's a left-handed pitcher and I'm not the best against lefties and I want Ernie Clement in there for his outfield play, I want Miles Straw in there for his outfield play today, and then I'm the odd man out. All of them have great attitudes about that. And I love the Jays players who are in this organization right now. And I love them for that attitude that they have about how this organization plays baseball. Everybody is in it for the team, and everybody is in it for the winning. And they're all going to do what it takes to win. And bringing in somebody like Max Scherzer, who is so laser focused and doesn't care about anything about us pitching the good stuff. There's a walk there by Chris Bassett. Walks the number 9 hitter, which to me in my eyes is unacceptable. You can't be walking the number 9 hitter. Pete Walker now to the mound for a mound visit. I wonder how much the blister that Bassett has is affecting his pitching. Do they have to take him out early? We have a lot of questions here with Bassett and his command in this blister. Pete Walker has his mouth covered. He's chit-chatting with Bassett. Kirk's there too, chit-chatting with their mouth covers. Let's see what's going on here. Pete Walker goes back to the dugout. Anybody warming up in the pen? I haven't seen a shot of the pen yet. Let's see if there's a shot at the pen. Dan says, might see Lauer today. Yeah. Honestly. First day in the bullpen, we might see Lauer. Okay, so Pete Walker's on the phone to the bullpen. They are getting someone up in the pen. Bottom 5, 2-0 for Cincy. 1 out, 2 men on. They're bunting! They are Michael bunting, but it is foul. Oh, and 1 on the count now. Dylan Tate, who was just called up. Dylan Tate, who is just called up by the Blue Jays, is warming up in the bullpen for the Jays. It looks like we will see him after Chris Bassett is done today on the mound, which might not be soon, but it could be soon. We will see how this inning goes. 85 pitches on the day so far for Bassett. That pitch count is pretty high for the 5th inning. And there's a deep fly ball, but Varsho is going to get under it. The runner at second is tagging. He is over to third. The runner at first stays at first. We got a man on first and a man on third. That was a deep fly ball. Thank goodness we got Varsho, who's always been able to track everything. Now Marte at the plate. 2 out, 2 men on, 1 on first, 1 on third. Let's see if Bassett can get out of this inning. He's been doing a good job so far. No runs so far in this inning, despite an overwhelming amount of traffic on the base paths so far. Marte struck out in both at-bats so far in this game. Let's see if Bassett can make it a hat trick. 3 for 3 on strikeouts, possibly. That's what I'm hoping for. Dan says, Tate, want to see Lauer or Fluharty? I guess because he's up now, they want to use him. Maybe the matchups make more sense for Tate as opposed to Lauer. Like, Tate's a righty. So if you're going with Lauer, that means you got a bunch of lefties coming up and you want left-handed hitters in a lefty situation. I assume is what they'd use Lauer for, unless you just want like a good pitcher in there to go long-term. You want Lauer to go 6, 7, and 8, you know? Even 9, who knows? Because he's a starter, right? He's stretched out. He can go that amount. There's a ground ball. Clement gets it at third. That's an easy out. Bassett gets out of the jam. We absolutely love to see that. Trouble in that inning, but trouble no more. Bassett gets out of things. And we have a inning where there's some danger, but no runs allowed. No runs allowed for Chris Bassett and the Blue Jays. All right, 2-0. We are heading to the top of the 6th inning. We have a comment here by Uzi. Uzi says, not a fan of baseball, but Jesse loving the fresh look and can't wait till hockey is back. Enjoy the game, boys. Let's go Red Wings. Thank you, Uzi. Yeah. Become a fan of baseball. Baseball is amazing. How dare you, first of all. Secondly, thank you. Thank you for the compliments. Thank you for being here. The Red Wings, I hope you guys can finally get it together. I don't know what Stevie Y's doing over there. It feels like forever we've been waiting for Yzerman to like, hey, the team's finally good. Like, we did it. And it's been like half a decade, and they're still not good. So who knows about the Red Wings? I'm a little unsure about where I'll have them in my season preview this year and my predictions for how the Atlantic Division will play out. I think I still have them out of the playoffs. I think I got Montreal for sure as a playoff team. I think Montreal definitely going to be a playoff team. I'm unsure if Ottawa is going to be back in the playoffs. I could see Ottawa having like a step back season where it's like they're not as good as last year. And last year they kind of like overperformed. Like, I'm not sure. Uzi says, we feel the same. Yeah, about Detroit. Detroit's such a mystery. Like, you hope that the kids mature into something really good. Like, you're like, oh, maybe Mo Sider can one day enter that, like, Norris conversation. And Lucas Raymond gets a little better. And, like, there's so many young guys, but Buffalo has been that for years. Where it's like, ooh, we got so many young guys. And they never mature into something that can be a sustainable playoff team. And Detroit's kind of gone in a different direction where they also sign the old guys, but they sign the old guys who you're like, why would you give that guy money? Like, the amount of goaltenders, when you guys were carrying 3 goaltenders at a time for so long, and like you gave Ville Husso all that money, and then he didn't pan out, and my heart broke because I liked Ville Husso. And then you gave like Justin Hall a bunch of money, and everyone's like, why would you give Justin Hall his money? And guess what? It didn't work out. And they have a bunch of these old defensemen. Andres Jimenez strikes out, 6th strikeout of the night of the day for Hunter Green. Hunter Green is pitching lights out right now. Hard slider. Bottom of the zone. Swings through by Andre Jimenez. Back to the top of the order. George Springer on the plate. Detroit Red Wings, I'm unsure. 1 out here. Top 6. 2-0 Reds. George Springer. Uh-oh. Foul ball hits him. Gets right back up. Shoes off the dugout from coming up to check on him. Hey, Lanky 32, a $2 donation. Thank you. Oh, Uzi, $5. Hey, thank you guys. I really appreciate that. That is very kind of you, both of you. Round of applause, little air horns, some confetti for those donations. Thank you. George Springer is back up on his feet. It is a 1-2 count. Let's see if George Springer can do anything with this. It is a time by the catcher. Catcher goes out for a mound visit with a 1-2 count. We're going to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard at the end of this inning because there are many implications on the standings here depending on how the games shake out today. The Yankees are in action later today, I believe. Let's see. The Yankees. Oh, the Yankees aren't in action today. Is that real? Yankees don't play on holiday? That's a ball 2-2 on the count. New York Yankees. Oh, Lanky 32. Thank you for the $2 donation. Dan confirms the Yankees are idle. 3-2 on the count there. Lanky, appreciate you. I'm going to give you some air horns and a round of applause. The Yankees are idle, as Dan says and confirms. The Boston Red Sox are in action, and we'll take a look at their game when we are out of this inning. Robert Tipple says, every time I hear an announcer type person say, oh no, with George at the plate, my heart stops. George loves getting hit by baseballs. Something about baseballs and them hitting George Springer. He's magnet. He is a magnet. Oh, there's a high fly ball, but it's just it doesn't go very far. It is high in the air. It's right to L.A. De La Cruz. And that is caught for the second out of the inning. Hunter Green's gem continues. No runs on the day allowed. 83 pitches through 5 2/3 innings so far for Hunter Green. Only 3 hits on the day for the Jays. 3 hits as well for the Reds, but they have 2 runs on those 3 hits. An error earlier by Bo Bichette as well. No damage was done in that inning, however. Bassett was able to get out of a jam with 2 men on and not allow any runs by the Reds. 2-0, top 6, Barger at the plate. It is 1-2 on the count. Aiden says, any plans for streaming the playoffs Jays games? That is why we are here, ladies and gentlemen. This is your tune-up, my practice as we get into the home stretch for the Jays. I want to be on here for every single... That's a strikeout, by the way. Addison Barger struck out. Addison Barger struck out looking fastball right down the middle of the plate. If we're being honest, like that was dead center fastball, 100 miles an hour, called strike 3. Addison Barger strikes out, third out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and we will check the out-of-town scoreboard and first chat a little about the playoffs because, yes, the playoffs are why we are here right now is because I want to be on here for all of the Jays playoff games. So look forward to that this upcoming October. I assume the Jays will be in the playoffs. We should be like, it should be an easy berth there for the Jays in the playoffs. I don't think there's going to be any trouble with them getting into the playoffs, but who knows? Baseball is a funky sport, so I'll be planned for the Jays to make the playoffs here. I'm trying to pull up here the game here with the Red Sox. I want to put it on screen for you. Let me see if I can do that. Let me see if I can pull it actually on screen. I don't know if I can. Live stream. Finish. Oh, teams. There we go. Let's do this. I'm going to copy. Copy. Okay. This is going to be magic. Everybody, hold on. Watch this magic. Watch this magic. Boom. Ah! There we go. Red Sox Guardians out-of-town scoreboard. I just switched it. Just switched it for you. Abby loves weather. Shout out, Abby. Not a baseball fan, just happy to be watching the stream. The Guardians and Red Sox are tied 3-3 in the top of the third. There's one out, man on second. Playoff implications for this is because the standings in the American League East are getting close. The Blue Jays are only 3 games up on the New York Yankees. They are 3.5 games up on the Red Sox. So, with this game tied 3-3, we don't have any indication on where this could go. But if the Blue Jays lose today, that lead will be down to 3. If the Red Sox win and the Blue Jays lose, that lead will be down to 2.5 games. The Red Sox will also tie the Yankees for second place in the American League East. They'll move into second, and we have a hit down the right field side by L.A. De La Cruz. He is going around the bases. He is not going to go all the way home. Only a triple, but a triple indeed by L.A. De La Cruz to open the bottom of the 6th inning. Let's switch back the scores and get back to this Jays game because L.A. De La Cruz did open the inning with a triple. Here we go. The score is back to the Jays game. See that? See that magic? See this stream magic right here? We are doing things with our live streams. Yes, we are. L.A. De La Cruz is on third. Not a great start to the inning by Chris Bassett. Hopefully, just like last inning, he's able to pitch his way out of a jam and not allow any runs. But we will see how this goes with the number 4 hitter, Hayes, up on the mound. It's a pop-up in the infield, and that is the first out of the inning. Vladdy catches it. Oh, unreal by Chris Bassett. That is Chris Bassett to a T. Tough start to the inning. Gets out of it with one pitch to Austin Hayes. Induces a pop fly right in the infield. Beautiful. Let's see if we can keep this up with Gavin Lux at the plate. Gavin Lux, who is 1 for 2 on the day. This is the 3rd time through the lineup for the Cincinnati Reds. We start 1-0 on the count. Chris Bassett is behind. 1-0. High fastball. Very high. Yariel Rodriguez is now up. We had Dylan Tate up earlier, but he has sat down. Oh. Bassett misses another pitch high. Yariel Rodriguez looks to be next up to enter the game. If Bassett cannot get out of trouble here, and if this pitch count continues to run up, 95 on the day for Chris Bassett. Gets a good call there on the first strike of the at-bat. 2-1 now. Bassett on Lux. If you lose this batter, it's not the end of the world because at least it sets up the double play. So I'm not too trouble. So there's like reason here for Bassett to pitch around Lux here. 3-1 on the count. I get it. I get it. It makes no great sense to pitch around him. Let's see what he does here with this 3-2 pitch coming up. 1 out in the inning. Dan says Schneider pushes starters too much. We'll see how much he's willing to push Bassett today. He's going to be north of 100 pitches. Let's see what Bassett can do here with Lux. 3-2 pitch, payoff pitch, ground ball, runner holds. Chris Bassett. Chris Bassett has a man on third with none out. First pitch after a man on third and none out gets the guy to pop out. Second batter works the count at 3-2 because he's obviously pitching around him. Induces a ground ball to Vladdy at first base. Gets him. 2 out now. L.A. De La Cruz still stranded on third. What an inning so far by Bassett. You love to see that. There are the AL East standings that I was referencing earlier. 3 up on the Yankees. These games are all important. Dan says bass battles. Yes, bass battles. That's good. We have a peak bass battle here. Unreal pitching by him in this inning. Loving this. And in this game where he's getting 0 run support. You know, like he's got to do everything by himself here. Checking in on the Red Sox game to see if that's moved any. Uh-oh. Oh, ground ball. Bichette throws it over to Vladdy. Unbelievable inning. I can't say enough about it. I can't say enough about that pitching performance there by Chris Bassett. You start the inning. With a triple, a leadoff triple, and you strand the runner. You strand Chris Bassett. You strand L.A. De La Cruz at third base. What a performance there by Bassett. And now he's probably done for the day at 101 pitches. 59 strikes, 101 pitches is probably it for him today. I assume it'll be Yariel Rodriguez in. He was warming up in the pen. But what a way to end it. What a way to end it there for Bassett if that is the end of his day. Now, as Dan says, it is time for the offense to get going. It is time for the offense to get going here. Let's check in with the Boston Red Sox. They are still tied in the top of the 4th inning. 3-3 with the Cleveland Guardians. I'm not sure who's on the mound for the Red Sox right now. Bellows started today for the Red Sox. Three. So, no change there. Will Benson comes in for Gavin Lux. And we already have an out in the inning as Vladdy flies out to right field. First pitch of the inning, Vladdy flies out to right field. Bo Bichette now to the plate, who's 2-2 so far in this game. 2 for 2 so far in this game. Vladdy, 1 pitch, 1 out. Not great. You want to see him... Dan says, Tigers game more important in my honest opinion. We want top seed. I'm worried about them losing the AL East, but you are correct. Let's check in with the Tigers game as well. We'll keep an eye on that one for you there, Dan. If we go to the games here. There's a base hit. That's a deep ball to left field. Bo Bichette trots in with a double. He is 3 for 3. His 42nd double of the season. That is Bo Bichette getting another hit. Unreal. He gets air on a slider. .237 hard hit balls. That is the most in Major League Baseball. No one in baseball puts the bat on the ball like Bo. Best hitter in the game right now in terms of using the bat and the ball to get on base. Bo leads the league in hits. He's racking up the tally today with 3 of them. Unreal. Unreal stuff from Bo today. Hopefully this can spark something out of the Jays offense. Varsho at the plate. He's ahead in the count, 2-1 so far. Uh-oh. Varsho with a pop-up, but it is out of play. Foul ball. Hunter Green has been, like, unhittable so far this year. So far this game, I should say. He's been really unhittable. So hopefully now with his pitch count running up to 94... and the Jays going the 3rd time to the lineup with Bo on second. Varsho can muster something up here. Ball inside. Full count. 3-2. And we have a little mound visit. So a little stop in action here on the payoff pitch. We will wait out the catcher visiting the pitcher. Loose Leaf says live streaming baseball is wild because that's basically what a broadcast is. They just chat about anything. Such pros. I'm a Giants fan. I could listen to them all day. Are you a Giants fan? How did you become a San Francisco Giants fan? Are you based out of there? Like usually it's Leafs fans who have come over who are also Blue Jays fans, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm always interested to hear about somebody who's a San Francisco Giants fan. And your username is Loose Leaf. Which maybe that has to do with the Leafs, but who knows? It is spelt leaf, but it is single leaf. And Varsho walks. There's a man on first and a man on second now. 1 out in the inning. I don't think Green is too upset to lose Varsho there. But Alejandro Kirk is a very good hitter. And now you're bringing him up to the plate with 2 men on base and 1 out. But you do have the double play possibility with Varsho on first base and Kirk not being a great runner. Update on Loose Leafs fandom. I live in Edmonton. I went to San Francisco for a festival in 2009, and they won in 2010. I get that. I get, like, going somewhere, seeing a team win, and that's just your team. For a long time, I was a St. Louis Rams fan until they took my team to L.A. And that was because, like, my first ever Super Bowl I saw, I was like, what, it must have been 7 or 8 at the time when the Rams won in 2000. The greatest show on turf, the Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Marshall Faulk, Kurt Warner Rams. Like that was when I first started watching football as a child. So like I saw them win and they became my favorite football team. So I get that, seeing a team win and choosing them as your team. 2 on, 1 out. Kirk at the plate. He's 0-2 on the day so far. It is 2-2 on the count. Could not get Kirk to chase. Let's see what Kirky can do here with this next pitch. Wires it out into left field. It gets down in front of the left fielder, and Bo Bichette is going to come around to score. That is an RBI single for Alejandro Kirk. Varsho up to second. Bo Bichette to home. The Blue Jays are on the board. They finally solve Hunter Green, their first run of the ball game. 1 out, 2-1 Cincy. Alejandro Kirk, everybody. Well done. That was their 5th hit of the ball game. We are going to a commercial break as the Reds are pulling Hunter Green from the game. We are getting a new pitcher, and that pitcher will be Scott Barlow. Right-handed relief pitcher Scott Barlow, who so far this season has a 3.30 ERA, a 1.33 whip, 69 strikeouts in 60 innings pitched. Great to see the Blue Jays bats come alive in this game. Hunter Green was pitching an absolute gem in this game, not allowing anything from the Jays, but in the 7th inning here with Bo starting the rally and Kirk cashing him in, the Jays are finally on the board, and that is beautiful, beautiful to see. Scott Barlow, by the way, in his last, let me count this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight outings. He's allowed 0 earned runs. 0 earned runs in his last 7 straight outings, but he has allowed 2 runs, just not earned against him. So 2 runs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 walks. 5 walks in those last 7 outings as well. So maybe here's somebody that the Jays can get to early here. Maybe. Let's see. Nathan Lucas is at the plate. Nathan Lucas, who made an incredible play out in left field earlier in this game. Let's see if he can be a hero at the plate. On the first pitch, it's out to right field. That's caught. It's caught at the wall. Varsho over to third. He tags up. I thought that ball was gone. Did anybody else think that ball was gone? Oh, my goodness. Especially with how the balls were carrying today. Like, every fly ball seems like it's getting it up against the wall. Lucas gets a hold of that one. Cannot get a little bit more on it, though, to make it leave the building. The first pitch that Barlow throws him, great contact there. Ernie Clement now at the plate. Starts ahead in the count, 1-0. (2-0) now. Ernie Clement ahead in the count. Does not go. Checks his swing. I wonder if we're going to see... No, I was going to say, I wonder if we're going to see Davis Snyder at all, but it would have been like pinch hitting for Lucas, or maybe if a lefty comes in, I'm not sure. They're leaving Clement in for now, so 0-2 so far on the day. Swings through that one. 2-1 in the count. Working the count up here. 3-1. There's another ball by Barlow. Checks his swing again. Good eye by Ernie. Really good eye. See what we can do with here. Ahead in 3-1 in the count. We get a foul ball. Makes contact on a pitch that was pretty hittable. It's just he was guessing wrong. I think he expected something harder. One of the sinkers. But he got a sweeper low 81. So he was very far ahead of it there. Let's lock in here. 3-2. 2 outs. What can Ernie do with this payoff pitch? It is foul. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ernie goes down. He gets up, though. Looks like he's okay. It was a foul tip. Did it hit his foot? Where did it hit him? Out. Right off the top of the foot, it looked like. Top of the shin area. That's a hard hit ball. And there's a ground out to third base. That is the end of the inning. Thank goodness Ernie Clement is okay. Thank goodness Alejandro Kirk exists. Driving in the only run of the ball game for the Blue Jays. But then Ernie Clement grounds out to third base to end the inning on a 3-2 count with 2 outs. And 2 runners are stranded on base by the Blue Jays. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. 2-1 for the Reds. I'm guessing Yariel Rodriguez comes into the game. He was warming up at the end of the previous inning when Bassett was in there, but Bassett's day most likely is done as he was north of 100 pitches, 101 on the day to be precise. Let's see who John Schneider and the staff decide to bring in to finish out these last 3 innings for the Toronto Blue Jays. Maybe 2 innings if we get some runs here. We will see. Chat, thank you. If you've been here the entire time, if you have tuned in partway, thank you for hanging out on this Labor Day Monday, watching some Blue Jays baseball. This is your teaser for the postseason. We're going to be locked in all postseason long with these Blue Jays streams. Chris Bassett, oh my goodness, is still in the game. Chris Bassett is still in the game at 101 pitches. This is so old school. Starts off with a strike. You do not see these days triple digits on the television screen with the amount of pitches a pitcher has pitched. But we are at 103 for Christopher Bassett. He is back sit into the game. Gosh darn. Let's see what Bassett can do here. He can get through the 7th inning. It's an 0-2 count. For Bassett on Hayes. And he is facing the 7th, 8th, and 9th hitters. So that's a little reason there for this, right? Like, It's the bottom of the order. Hopefully he can get through them quickly. And then the 8th, you're hoping you only have to use your bullpen for a couple of innings. We will see how this goes. We're at 106 on the pitch count, soon going to be 107 shortly as he throws this next pitch to Hayes. And Hayes takes this pitch, wires it into right field. That is a base hit for Hayes. Bassett starts the inning by allowing a single to right field. There's a man on first. I wonder if John Schneider regrets this. I wonder if John Schneider regrets leaving Bassett in there for 107 pitches. And now Bassett is done. John Schneider is walking to the mound. Yariel Rodriguez is coming in. Everybody's giving him his props. It was a good effort, but not quite enough for Chris Bassett. I don't know. I don't know about that decision to leave Bassett in there. He's dealing with a blister. His pitch count was 101 to enter the inning. You have Yariel Rodriguez ready in the pen. That was strange. That is not something you see very often. And I don't think that's a common decision, John. Like, that was strange to leave him in for one batter there, just out of fingers crossed he gets through the inning. I would have gone to the pen. I would have gone to the pen there. We'll do an out-of-town scoreboard check because the Detroit Tigers just scored to tie the game with the New York Mets. The Tigers and the Jays are battling for top spot in the American League. The Jays are trailing the Tigers by a half game, actually. They're trailing them by a half game. And the Red Sox score right now. Let's check in on the Red Sox, who are tied 3-3 in the bottom of the 4th with the Cleveland Guardians. They're playing at home at Fenway. The Red Sox are chasing the Jays for the American League East. They're 3.5 games back of the Jays for the American League East title. And those are the two matchups we need to be watching right now, if you are a Jays fan. Yariel Rodriguez is now on the mound for the Blue Jays, replaces Chris Bassett, who oddly went out there after having north of 100 pitches and had a long 6th inning where he was able to pitch out of a leadoff triple. There's issues with the pitch calm right now. There's issues with the pitch calm. We got a delay because pitch calm. My thing with the pitch calm is, like, just use your fingers, Kirk. Just call the pitches like you used to call pitches. They got a new pitch calm from the dugout. All right, so Kirk's pitch calm looks like it works. Vladdy got the old pitch calm, put it back in his hat. Yariel has the new pitch calm from the dugout, and all the pitch calms have been sorted. Natalie Drake says, honestly, the calms feel like cheating to me. It's not like, I'm so wishy-washy about the pitch calms. Oh, here's a bunt. Oh, they go to second with the bunt. What a play. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with one hell of a play to get the lead runner on a bunt. Well done, Vladdy. Oh, so Vladdy comes in on the bunt real quick. He charges it, turns and throws to second where Bichette is able to squeeze that throw and get the lead runner. That is our boy, Vladdy, who's turned into a fantastic defensive first baseman, making a really nice play to get the lead runner, to get the first out of the inning. And it's 2-1 Reds, 1 out in the bottom of the seventh inning. Let's go back to pitch calm, because I'm of the opinion that it's not cheating, but it feels weird. It feels weird to use this level of technology for something that can be done analog. Like, it's hard for me to think of a comparable. I guess in football, so anybody who watches the NFL, the head coach calls plays to the quarterback in the headset. Back in the old days, you used to have to like do signs from, well, back in the old days, really, you'd have a player like run out and get the call from the head coach. If the head coach is calling plays for the quarterback, like somebody who's coming in and out, say it's an offensive lineman switching out, they'd run from the sideline to the huddle. They tell them, hey, this is the play. Run 82 left, RB sweep. Like they tell that to the quarterback, and then the quarterback calls the play. Or if the quarterback's calling the plays himself, there's a fly ball to right field. Addison Barger! Addison Barger makes a beautiful catch in right field, a deep fly ball in foul territory. He makes the catch up against the netting. Barger, beautiful play. That is the second out of the inning. Back to pitch calm. Natalie, Robert, I think you're nailing this right now. It's weird, but it's not cheating. It's not cheating, but not in the spirit of it or something. Yeah, like that's how my feelings are on pitch calm. Traditionally in baseball, the catcher calls the pitches with like his two fingers between his. I'm not gonna demonstrate this. He'll be like, 1 is a fastball, 3 is curveball, 4 is your sinker, and he calls the pitches there, and then the pitcher sees the pitches and then he pitches it. But now over the last half decade, they've gone to pitch calm, and he calls it electronically. You'll see Alejandro Kirk on his shin has his pitch calm there, and he's calling the pitches or whatever, and then the pitch calm is in the hat of Rodriguez, and he's getting the pitches, and everybody's talking to everybody that way. It's strange to be using technology in this way when sports is such an analog thing. Like, we don't use machines to play sports. You know, like machines aren't a part of playing any of these sports. Like, there's a base hit to right field. Diving is Jimenez. It sneaks by him. The Reds here now with 2 out in the bottom of the 7th inning have a man on second and a man on first after this base hit to right field. That was a pitch left high. Andres Jimenez was close to grabbing that on that diving ball, but that was a slider left in the middle of the plate that was taken to right field. Good little piece of hitting there by the Reds. Pitch calm is weird. It's strange that you would lean this far into technology and take the aspect of the catcher calling the game with his hands away from baseball. That's where we're going to leave pitch calm. Talk about pitch calm all day, because I'll never be used to it. If you're a child right now and all you've ever known is pitch calm, you're used to it. You know, like you're good. You know, but as humans who have known non-pitch calm, it's always will be weird. You know, it's old fogey stuff. Us olds will think it's weird. All right. 1-1 here is the count. 2 out. Man in scoring position. Man on first base. Marte at the plate, who's 0 for 3. Fouls one off. We got a 1-2 count now. Let's see if Yariel Rodriguez can get out of this inning. Just needs one more out here. A little timeout by the batter. Second to breathe as we wait for the 1-2 pitch. Yariel Rodriguez, who's hasn't been the worst part of the bullpen, that's for sure. But overall, you can't be happy with the Jays bullpen and how it's been going. It's 1-2 again after Marte fouls off another pitch. This is going to be a huge out here with the Blue Jays only having 6 outs remaining to try and muster up 1 run and tie this ball game. And we have a strikeout swinging by Yariel Rodriguez on Marte to end the inning. Wonderful stuff to keep this lead only at 1. The game remains 2-1 for the Reds. The game is still within reach for the Blue Jays. We have the bullpen stepping up and doing what they should be doing, and that's getting batters out, even though we had a little bit of a shaky inning with a couple men on. The Blue Jays escaped that, and Yariel Rodriguez is able to strike out Marte for the 3rd out of the inning. Back to the out-of-town scoreboard. We will check in on the Boston Red Sox and the Detroit Tigers. We have here the Boston Red Sox are tied with the Cleveland Guardians, 3-3 in the top of the 5th inning. There's 2 outs right now in the 5th. That game is at Fenway Park. Boston trails the Toronto Blue Jays 3.5 games in the AL East. Let's check in on the Detroit Tigers, who lead the Toronto Blue Jays by a half game for the best record in the American League. The Detroit Tigers are trailing, which is good news for the Blue Jays. We just had a run score. There you go. That is an updating scoreboard. We just had a run score. The Mets are up 9-6 with 2 out in the top of the 6th. 9-6 Mets, top 6. 2 outs, top 6. There's the 3rd out of the inning. We're going to the bottom of the 6th. 9-6 Mets. All right, back to the Toronto Blue Jays here. Let me just pull up that scoreboard for all of you as we get back to our program. The Blue Jays against the Reds, top 8. Jays trail 2-1. There we go. Due up in this inning. There you see the standings there. As we check the out-of-town scoreboard, the standings are on the screen. It is a 0-1 count on Andres Jimenez. We're going to Jimenez and then back to the top of the order. After Jimenez his at-bat here, we go back to George Springer at the top. And then Barger due up this inning. 0-2 on the count here by Jimenez. On Jimenez. This was the story of the 2024 Blue Jay season. You know, 2024 was plagued by games where the Blue Jays would get fantastic pitching. 2023 season. My bad. I've erased the 24 season from my mind. Jimenez, by the way, grounds out to second base. That is the 1st out of the inning. Little chopper to second that's cleaned up and thrown over to first base. Out number 1. Jimenez is out. The 23 season. Robert Malloy, you are correct. We do not speak of 24. The 23 season, when the Blue Jays made the playoffs and then subsequently got swept. The problem with the Blue Jays that year was getting great pitching and not getting any hitting. And their hitting falling in important moments. The 22 season had that too. But it was ugly when you expected the offense to show up in big ways after you get a great outing. They would not. And like these games, the past couple days, like Sunday was fantastic yesterday, getting all those hits and runs against Milwaukee. But Saturday was a little bit about that. Friday was a little bit about that. It's just there's not been enough offense this last week. And let's not have September, October be the moments when the offense goes a little cold here. Here's been the best offensive player of the year so far for the Blue Jays, and I don't think so far will be this season. George Springer at the plate with a 3-0 count. Let's see if he's got the green light here to do something. You want him on base, but 3-0, maybe he does go around, the umpire says. Oh, I thought he checked his swing there. That's a little dicey. Nah. I think he went. George Springer, best offensive player. Big moment right now. Checks his swing this time and ends up on first. Let's go. A walk is as good as a hit. That is a man on first base. There you can see the NL wildcard standings. The Reds are playing in the big game here, too. They are trying to claw their way back into a playoff spot. They currently trail the Mets 4 games for the third wildcard spot. I guess that's kind of how you refer to it. One of the wildcard spots. The Reds trail the Mets by 4 games. The Mets are winning, doing the Blue Jays a favor by beating the Detroit Tigers right now. So we'll see if the Reds can stay with the Mets here and win this game, or if they will fall behind. Let's see what Barger can do here with this at bat with George Springer on first base after that walk with 1 out. One on the count. But that pitch hits the outside corner, and it is 1-2 on the count for Addison Barger. Barger, who has been struggling of late, his bat's hasn't been as hot as it was early on in this season. And there's Barger with a ground ball to shortstop. Over to second, over to first. Barger grounds out into a double play to end any hope of the Jays coming away with something in this inning. Double play by the Reds ends it. 3 outs. We're going to the bottom of the 8th with the Reds remaining up 2-1. Oh. Not great. Every game matters at this point of the season. Every game matters throughout the entire season, but especially right now. And as you can see, the Blue Jays are only 2-3 in their last 5 games. They are in danger of making that 2-4 in their last 6. It has been a disappointing performance offensively by the Blue Jays today, not being able to muster up more than 1 run on the day. They're in danger of wasting a very good performance by Chris Bassett and a good performance so far by the bullpen, which is Yariel Rodriguez. We'll see how these next innings play out. Let's see if Yariel Rodriguez stays in the game here. Yes, he does. L.A. De La Cruz is to the plate. We're going for 2 innings pitched here for Yariel Rodriguez. Bottom of the 8th. The Jays only have 3 outs remaining to tie this game. They'll be up in the top of the 9th with the main part of their order coming up. We got Guerrero, Bichette, and Varsho due up in the top of the 9th. Rodriguez starts the count 1-1 on De La Cruz, who had a triple earlier in this game and got stranded at third. De La Cruz, who is so darn fast, so speedy, leads the team in home runs, RBIs, and batting average, as you can see with the graphic on the screen. That's great timing with the graphics. De La Cruz at the plate. All the stats he's leading on the screen right now. Look at that. Look at that production. Oh, he does check his swing, and Yariel falls behind De La Cruz 3-1 in the count. Works the count back up to 3-2. We are at the tense moments of this game. Let's see what he can do here with the payoff pitch to De La Cruz. 3-2 count. None out so far in the bottom of the 8th. Contact made out to left field. But Nathan Lucas is there to scoop it up and retire the first batter of the inning. Yariel Rodriguez, nice little outing here so far. 20 pitches, no runs allowed so far. Inning and 1/3. See how we can do against Austin Hayes here. Starts behind 1-0. Fastball out of the zone. Thank you for hanging out here. It's been a fun Labor Day, sitting with you, watching Blue Jays baseball. Dylan Tate is up in the Blue Jays bullpen. The Blue Jays just called him up, which makes him eligible for the Blue Jays postseason roster, along with Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who the Blue Jays claimed from the Pittsburgh Pirates after the Blue Jays traded him away at the 2024 MLB trade deadline. They retained some assets there at the trade deadline. Then they spent a year and a bit without him, and then now he's back for free. Great piece of work by the Blue Jays front office there. Fantastic utility man who is also eligible, just like Dylan Tate, for the Blue Jays postseason roster. I know a lot of Blue Jays fans out there were rooting for Trey Savage to be called up and be used on the Blue Jays postseason roster, but it makes more sense to have experience back there in the bullpen. And with Eric Lauer going to the bullpen too today, John Schneider confirmed that the Blue Jays will be back with a 5-man rotation, not trying to shoehorn a 6-man rotation in there. Everybody will be on their regular day's rest. Eric Lauer will be a part of the pen. It made more sense to have Dylan Tate and Eric Lauer in there as opposed to Trey Savage. And we have a fly ball out to right field. Addison Barger gets under it. Austin Hayes flies out to right field for the second out of the inning. Yariel Rodriguez is cooking right now. 2 outs now in the bottom of the 8th. Benson up to the plate. Hopefully Yariel can get this one done. Get this out here of Will Benson, making an easy 1-2-3 inning. And then we have the meaty part of the Blue Jays lineup coming up in the top of the 9th. There's Will Benson with a ball out to left field, and that one gets down. Nathan Lucas can't get there. He had a little sliding chance at the ball, but Will Benson's ball does get down. It is a single for him. He is on first base. 2 outs, man on first. Nice little play by Nathan Lucas to keep that ball in front of him. That was a difficult play. The Steve Dangle Podcast returns tomorrow. On Tuesday, the Steve Dangle Podcast will be back at its regular time on a different day. Usually we're Mondays, but with the holiday today, that's why I'm sitting here with you. Holiday today, Steve Dangle Podcast tomorrow, Steve Dangle Podcast Wednesday again. Then we are back on Friday. Then next week, we will be back Monday, Wednesday, Friday for all of your good times from September through the end of July, 3 times a week, every week. Hockey season's back, baby. Where will Connor McDavid play next season? Because in 26-27, it might not be the Edmonton Oilers. He has not signed a contract extension. Natalie Drake says, is Jordan Romano, I think was his name, still the closing pitcher? Jordan Romano is no longer the closing pitcher. We got Jeff Hoffman this offseason from Philadelphia, and Jordan Romano actually went to Philadelphia. He was a Canadian. Romano, he was from here, and he pitched for the Blue Jays. But he's had a disaster season in Philly. I don't know if any baseball fans out there have kept up with that, but Phillies fans have not been happy with Romano. He is actually on the IL right now because he has to deal with not pitching well, and they're saying some of it has because of injury that he's been trying to pitch through. So he has been so poor that they have kept him out of the lineup, and they've placed him on on the injury list, and he's been a bad signing for the Phillies. And the Blue Jays front office, I think, made a great decision, seeing how Romano's season played out. Jeff Hoffman's season has played out better, but it hasn't been a smooth ride with Jeff Hoffman. So we'll see how this ends up. But we shouldn't be sad that we're missing Jordan from the Blue Jays lineup. And that is strike number 3 on Steer. Yariel Rodriguez strikes out Steer to end the inning. It is time for the top of the 9th. This is it. The Blue Jays need a run here after Yariel Rodriguez comes in, doesn't allow a run in 2 straight innings. 2 innings, no runs. That's what you're asking for out of the Blue Jays. That's what you're asking for out of the Blue Jays bullpen. They got it. They kept things close. It's 2-1. The Blue Jays just need 1 run here in the top of the 9th. And as I mentioned before, you got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up to the plate. You got Bo Bichette to follow, who is 3 for 3 on the day. 309 batting average on the year, 825 OPS, leads the majors in hits. You could not ask for any other player in baseball to be at the plate in the 9th inning than Bo Bichette. And then after that, Dalton Varsho hitting in the 5 spot. He's got a walk on the day. He's got a strikeout on the day. He's 0 for 2. But hopefully, the 3 of those gentlemen can rally something together and get a run here for the Blue Jays in the top of the ninth to keep this thing going. Hopefully get 2. Let's shoot for the stars. Multiple runs in the ninth inning to keep this game going for the Toronto Blue Jays. Pagan is on the mound for the Reds. Pagan is trying to close out this game for the Cincinnati Reds. Robert Malloy is requesting 2 runs out of the Toronto Blue Jays. As you can see on the screen there, Pagan leads the team in saves. Oh, the graphic's gone. 26 saves on the year for Pagan. Starts 1-0 on Vladdy. Let's see what Vladdy can do here. Let us lock in, chat, on the Blue Jays comeback that might happen here in the top of the ninth inning. As you can see, a lot of postseason implications happening here with every single game that goes on for the rest of the season. The Blue Jays are battling the Tigers for the 1 seed. Oh, swing and miss by Vladdy. The Blue Jays are battling the Red Sox and Yankees for the title in the American League East. The Cincinnati Reds are trying to catch the Mets for that final playoff spot in the National League. 2-2 on Vladdy against Pagan. Let's see if Vladdy can get something going here with this 2-2 pitch. It's a 4-seam fastball outside, 97 miles an hour. One more. 4 balls is as good as a hit. Let's see if Vladdy can get on base here and get the tying run to first base at this 3-2 pitch. You know, I prefer a home run. You know, that'd be nice. Get the tying run home. That'd be awesome, too. We will see what Vladdy can do with this 3-2 pitch here. None out. Top of the ninth. Guerrero swings a little chopper. Third baseman can't handle it. Vladdy's on base. That is a base hit by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to start the inning. He was jammed a little on his hands, but hustle all the way 90 feet down the line. And he's safe at first after L.A. De La Cruz cannot handle it. Miles Straw comes in to pinch run for Vladdy. Let's see if Miles Straw is going to get on the move here and steal a base here. Bo Bichette, the best hitter in baseball in terms of pure hits. No one has more than Bo this 2025 MLB season. He is at the plate. 3-3 on the day. 2 doubles and a single. 1 home run gets the lead. A big swing could tie the game. There's Bo. Deep right field. Home run! Home run, Bo! Unbelievable. His 4th hit of the game. Bo Bichette with an unbelievable afternoon. Deep drive to right field. Gets over the fence. And the Blue Jays have the lead. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Bo. 4 for 4 on the day. Put that home run jacket on. Fist pump your teammates. You've just taken the lead for the Toronto Blue Jays. Unbelievable. Top of the ninth, magic for the Blue Jays. Robert Malloy asked for 2 runs out of the Jays, and they delivered. Varsho with a long fly ball foul. Out of the stadium, Varsho hit a foul ball. Oh my goodness. Tommy Nance is coming in for the save situation at the bottom of the ninth. We know it's going to be at least a 1-run lead for the Jays. Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette, everybody. My goodness. What a game he has had. This is unreal. What a comeback for the Jays. They do not spoil a fantastic pitching performance. So far, they have not spoiled. Let's not count our eggs before they hatch. Let's not count our chickens before they hatch. Let's not eat our bacon before it's cooked. The Jays have not spoiled a fantastic pitch. There's Dalton Varsho with a ball to right field that is gone over the fence. That's back-to-back home runs for the Toronto Blue Jays. Varsho takes the pitch that's on the outside corner, wires it into right field, 388 feet off of Pagan. It's 4-2 Blue Jays. 4-2 Blue Jays. Top of the ninth, they are piling on Pagan. Varsho gets in on the action. Bo started it off. Vladdy got on base. What an inning so far for the Jays. None out still. Put that home run jacket on, Varsho. You've earned it with your 16th of the season. Unreal. Thank you, David Owens, for the donation. Appreciate you. This deserves a little confetti on the screen. That is for certain. As Pelot says, welcome to the Varsho. That's unreal. A lot of concern in the chat right now for who is going to close out this game for the Toronto Blue Jays. Today, John Schneider is going with Tommy Nance. Tommy Nance will be the closer today because Jeff Hoffman pitched a whole bunch over the last couple games. They're giving him the day off, and they're going to try Tommy Nance in a save situation. Up at least 2 runs so far. Robert Malloy says, I have no concern. I love Nance. Woo! Pagan is done. Terry Francona is walking to the mound to pull Pagan, who has 26 saves on the year, but not today. Not today, Pagan. You will not be getting your 27th save of the season. What a showing by Vladdy, Bo, and Varsho. We hyped them up. We knew they were coming, and they absolutely delivered. That's awesome. Looking at Pagan's recent numbers, he's been fairly solid. Last time he had a shaky little outing was against the Brewers on August 17th. That day, he allowed 2 earned runs, had a walk, allowed a home run just like he did today. Not the best outing from him there. And then he had about 1, 2, 3, 4 good outings in a row. And then you had today where he got lit up by the Blue Jays, and he has a blown save to his record. You absolutely love to see it. It has been a cold day for the Blue Jays bats until the 9th inning when they came alive just in time to take the lead today for the Blue Jays. 4-2 now. The Reds bringing in a new pitcher. Let's check and see who's coming in the pitching change. We are in a commercial break. We'll be back with a new pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds after Pagan's only able to get 1 out in the inning. It's really amazing how good Bo has been this season. It's been really cool to see just how dominant he has been at the plate. Zulueta on the mound for the Reds. Zulueta in after Pagan, their closer, gets lit up. Bo Bichette leads the league in doubles, leads the league in hits. He's got, how many RBIs has he got? He's got 88 or more than that now. He's got 90-plus RBIs on the season. That's good for top 13. He's only struck out 88 times this season. Here's a high fly ball to left field. That's caught by Benson. There's 2 out on the inning after Nathan Lucas flies out to left field. We got 2 outs, top of the 9th. Zulueta coming in, getting the first batter he faces. Now he's facing Ernie Clement, who's had a tough afternoon. 0 for 3 on the day. Fly out, line out, and ground out. Let's see if he can get to Zulueta here. Bo's hitting .310, and that number is only going to climb. Batting average leader this season is Aaron Judge at .324. I assume Bo's going to hop over Jacob Wilson, depending on what Jacob Wilson does this afternoon at the plate in terms of batting average, but hits leader Bo having an unreal season. He's a free agent after this season. So he's going to need a whole bunch of money this offseason. And there's a ground ball by Ernie Clement to third base. Hayes gets it, throws it over the first baseman, Steer, and that is the end of the inning. But not until the Blue Jays post 3 runs in the top of the 9th to take the lead on the back of back-to-back home runs. The first one by Bo Bichette, the second one by Dalton Varsho. And now we go to the bottom of the 9th where Tommy Nance is coming in to hopefully end this thing for the Toronto Blue Jays. We know how shaky the Blue Jays bullpen has been in recent games. The relief pitchers have not been something we can rely on. But today, Yariel Rodriguez came in relief of Chris Bassett, who pitched 107 pitches. And Rodriguez came in this game and in 2 innings didn't allow a run. He did exactly what you want out of your high leverage relievers, shut things down, kept it simple, and did not allow a run. Now we have Tommy Nance coming in a save situation because Jeff Hoffman needs a day off because he's pitched a lot lately. John Schneider is going to Tommy, and he says, Tommy, I believe in you to retire these Reds hitters. Let's see what you can do in the bottom of the 9th inning. Four-2 Blue Jays. 3 outs away from a Blue Jays victory on Labor Day Monday. Thank you, everybody who's been hanging out. Whether you've been here the whole time, part of the time, or just tuning in, thank you for being here. I appreciate you no matter where you are watching from, that you would watch even a second of this. So thank you. As Robert Malloy says, the podcast does return tomorrow. The Steve Danko podcast returns tomorrow. This could be a huge win here for the Blue Jays, as the Tigers were losing on the out-of-town scoreboard. The Red Sox were tied last time I checked the out-of-town scoreboard. The Tigers are still down. This time they're down by 3 runs, 10-7, the top of the 8th. The Red Sox are beating the Cleveland Guardians 5-3 in the top of the 6th inning. Bottom of the 6th inning. So the Blue Jays have to win here to keep pace with the Red Sox. They can gain a half game. They get a full game on the Tigers if they are able to win here and the Tigers lose. Shout out Wes! Shout out Wes, who says, do it for Iggy. Yes. We'll talk a little about that tomorrow. Thank you for the donation, Wes. I appreciate it. Tommy Nance, we do hope you get this save here. It's only the second Blue Jays game I've ever streamed. First one was a loss. Let's see if we can get a W on the resume. Nicole B says, is it a 2 or 3 podcast week with the holiday Monday? It is a 3 podcast week. We are Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. We are back 3 times full time starting this week. 2-2 on the count. That is a base hit up the middle by Hayes. Not great. Not great, Tommy Nance. Don't like that. Don't like this start to the inning here by Tommy Nance. Breaking ball that stays up. Gets a lot of the plate. Taken by Hayes. Hit into center field. Let's see. Andujar. Andujar is into pinch hit. Let's see what Andujar has against Tommy Nance. Hopefully nothing. Hopefully he's got nothing. That's a foul ball to start the at-bat. We are all rooting for a Tommy Nance save here. Tommy Nance has worked the count to 0-2, which is great. A double play would be like really cool right now. That'd be sick. But you know, I can't get everything I ask for. See what Andujar's got. It is a high fly ball. Bo Bichette is under it. And he catches it for the first out of the inning. 2 more. We are 2 outs away from a Toronto Blue Jays victory. Bo making that easy catch for the first out of the inning. Now, a double play would end the game. As you can see in the standings of the NL wildcard, the Cincinnati Reds, this game does mean a lot to them as they are chasing the Mets for a wildcard spot. They could fall 5 games back with the Mets winning over the Red Wings, the Detroit Tigers. Let's see what Tommy Nance has here against the number 9 hitter McLean, who's 0-2 on the day. Falls behind 2-0. That's okay. That's all right. Let's see what he's got on this 2-0 pitch. 2-1. That's a slider for a strike. We had magic from the Blue Jays in the top of the ninth. Will the Reds match the magic? Who knows? Tommy Nance allows another base hit. McLean with a base hit to right field. The tying run is on first base. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. John Schneider has seen enough. John Schneider has seen enough. Tommy Nance is out of the game. Brendan Little's coming in. The lefty throwing reliever is coming in to face the top of the lineup. The Blue Jays are desperately trying to hold on to this lead here in the bottom of the ninth inning. They do not have relief pitching that they can rely on. They go to Tommy Nance here to try and get the save. Tommy Nance can't get through three batters. He gets one out and then two batters get on base. Fourth batter, it's not yours anymore. It's Brendan Little's. So we will see what Brendan Little can do here against the Reds, top of the lineup. We are in dangerous territory here with the tying run on first base, the winning run at the plate when we return from commercial break. Oh my goodness. What an adventure this game has been. To recap, a fantastic pitching performance from Chris Bassett. He went 106 pitches. 107, actually. 107 pitches on the evening. Then we had another great pitching performance on the other end of the mound by Hunter Green. Both pitchers ran up their pitches. Hunter Green went 101 pitches, was eventually pulled. Low scoring game all along. The Reds just got 2 in the bottom of the second and then were shut out ever since. The Blue Jays only had 1 in the top of the seventh. And then we got to the top of the ninth with the Blue Jays trailing 2-1. Bo Bichette smashes a 2-run home run to take the lead for the Jays. And then we had Varsho follow that up with a solo shot to extend the lead to 4-2. But now we have reached the bottom of the ninth inning where Jeff Hoffman is not available to be used because he has been pitching a lot the last couple days. And John Schneider decides to go to Tommy Nance. Tommy Nance can't make it. He only faces the minimum 3 batters, gets pulled, and now we have Brendan Little in to face the left-handed pitcher. And Brendan Little starts the at-bat with a ball outside. It is 1-0. Two and 0 now on the count. David Owens says, let's have little faith. Let's have a little faith. That is for sure. We are hoping that Mr. Little can put this game away. One ground ball can solve this whole thing. That'd be real nice. That'd be real nice if we could get one ground ball here. Oh my goodness, that is a hard hit ball to right field. Oh no. 1 run is coming around to score. 2 runs are coming around to score. We have a tie ball game in Cincinnati. The Blue Jays bullpen does it again and blows another save. Tommy Nance and Brendan Little cannot get it done. This bullpen is horrendous. No matter what's done out there, every single person who takes the mound cannot get outs. We have another blown save. Another poor performance by the bullpen. And there's a challenge. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. We have a challenge. John Schneider came out, did the challenge thing. They're saying it might have been a lodged ball. Did the Blue Jays just get saved? The ball lodged in the fence when Nathan Lucas ran over to retrieve it. It was lodged between the padding in the fence. McLean might be sent back to third base on the lodged ball. We have anarchy. Oh, I gotta fix that scoreboard there. It's not 4-4 final. I gotta fix that. Let's get that off the screen. McLean is back to third. McLean is back to third. The run does not score because of a lodged ball. We're back. We're back, baby. The Blue Jays still lead. The Blue Jays still lead 4-3. It is not over. It has not been blown yet. Okay, let's get the score back fixed. We got to erase that run. It's 4-3 Blue Jays. Man on second. Man on third. We are so back. We are so absolutely back. It is chaos in Cincinnati today. What is happening? The Blue Jays replay room is some of the best. I don't know who told John Schneider to do that or if he recognized it himself, but somebody in that dugout there deserves a high five and a raise. My goodness. My goodness. Okay. We're not out of this yet. Man on second, man on third. Winning run is in scoring position on second base. Marte's at the plate. Brendan Little on the mound. 1 out. Misses outside. It's 1-1 in the count. This is nerve-wracking. Dan says walk for force. I would consider that. Like, who cares? Who cares about the runner on first? Why not walk him? Why not walk him? It's all about the runner on second. If that run comes in, like, I'm very surprised they're not walking Marte. But I guess they don't want to have to face LA De La Cruz with 1 out. I guess that's the motivation because he's their best hitter. He's one of the best hitters. You don't want to face LA De La Cruz with 2 men on, but I don't know. I think it makes sense, like from the numbers perspective, to have the force out ready at home plate and at any base. You know, anything hit in the infield is now a force out. Like, I think that makes the most sense. So we'll see if Brendan Little pitches around Marte here. It's 3-2. Like, he's clearly pitching around him. So maybe they're like trying to squeeze this walk out of him, like in a roundabout way. We'll see. So here we go. They choose not to walk. 3-2. Little on Marte. Man on third, man on second. Bottom of the 9th. Ground ball gets by Bo. Throw to home on the winning run. Safe. The Blue Jays bullpen. Let's go back and rewind to what we were just saying. The Blue Jays bullpen blows it again. Brendan Little allows a base hit by Marte into left field. Runner from third comes home easy. Runner from second at the plate, safe. Disgusting. Disgusting behavior from the relief pitchers in the Blue Jays bullpen. Bo Bichette did everything he could to try and get that ball. Bo Bichette did everything he could to get the Blue Jays back in this game. And all of it is for naught because the Blue Jays bullpen again can't close the door. That's it. It's a 5-4 final. Reds take it on Labor Day. Tommy Nance comes in, blows it. Brendan Little comes in, blows it open even more. Blue Jays lose. Miracle comeback. Doesn't matter. Game over. I'm 0-2 on streams. I've yet to stream a game where the Blue Jays win. They lost Friday. They lose today in the worst possible fashion. I thought we were having fun. And it's over. You know, like, thank you for being here. This was a lot of fun. Regardless of this ending the way it did, I really appreciate that you would sit here and hang out with me for this. I wish they could have just got 3 outs there in the bottom of the ninth. I wish they could have got 3 outs in the bottom of the ninth there. But that's it. That's it. The Steve Dangle podcast returns tomorrow. That's cool. We're back in full swing. It'll be 3 days a week. Robert Malloy says, at least we were miserable together. That's true. Yeah, at least it was a communal experience. What if this was all about the miserable friends we made along the way? Nicole B says, I should have listened to CJ's Jays opinions. CJ, who is boycotting the Jays, has been right so far. Well, he's been wrong a little bit, but he's been right at the right now. He's been a little right in how miserable they are. If you want to subscribe to SDP VIP and become a member of the SDPN YouTube channel, the QR code is on the screen right now. The description is in the chat. All right, I'm going to sign off. I don't know. I was like, should I make another video on this thing? But we'll see. We'll see. It's disaster. Disaster. They did it again. All right. That's it for me right now. Thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be listening or watching, and I appreciate you for that. Yeah. Jays, bullpen, can't get it done again. Disaster. I hope that one day the Blue Jays have a competent bullpen and they are able to close out games. But that day may never come. I'll see you again here at some point. I'll see you on the SDB tomorrow on Tuesday. Good night from Toronto.